Hi there. Today I'm going to help you channel your inner dog trainer. There are a few skills that every good dog trainer and behaviourist has. If you don't have these, then fake it if you can, because this will help you get the most out of your dog whenever you're working with them. So it'll not come as a surprise to you to know that patience is right at the top of the list. Dogs don't learn new tricks and new behaviours in 5 minutes. We need to repeat things over and over and over again. And this is because whenever you're trying to teach your dog something new, we can't tell them what we want. So we rely on them to either try something and get it right or try something and get it wrong. If they get it right, we'll reward that behaviour, and that'll give them a little bit of an idea about what it is that we might want. They won't know exactly at the very start, but that will come later on. If they get it wrong, they'll need us to help them change what they did so that next time they can get it right. Because we can't explain to them, they're going to need to repeat this a lot. So we need a lot of patience. They're going to make a lot of mistakes while we go through this process. So the next thing we need is consistency. This is important because, as I said just now, dogs don't learn by us telling them what to do. They learn through trial and error. So they need us to be very consistent about what we want from them so they can figure that out. Imagine a situation where we've asked a dog to do a recall, and the first time they do it, they come right up close to us and we give them a treat. What about the second time they do it? If they stop a few feet away from us and then we walk towards them, we think, it was good enough, close enough, and reward that. It makes it less clear to the dog exactly what it was that you wanted. So next time you could get one or the other. If they stop a few feet away again and you think, that's okay, we're in the ballpark, and then you move towards them, they're going to start to think that that's actually what you want. So being consistent is not just about getting yourself and your behaviour right every time. It's also about knowing what you actually want and what you're aiming for. So figure those two things out and then add them to your patience, and you're starting to get somewhere. The third really important skill is you must be able to listen to your dog. Your dog is giving you clues all day long about how they feel. So start learning how to recognise that. Recognise what your dog looks like when they're in their comfort zone, when they're grumpy, when they're tired, when they're happy, and everything else in between. If you can understand and recognise how your dog's feeling all the time, you're able to respond to it really easily. So if you're training your dog in a situation and they're really not at all in their comfort zone, in fact, maybe they're starting to get a little bit stressed, you'll recognise that straight away and you'll take them to a place where they can relax again. There's no good trying to train a dog when they are so far out of their comfort zone, they are literally bordering on that fight or flight zone. Don't push them too far. Don't push them out of their comfort zone. Don't make them anxious. Don't make them go into that kind of reactive mood. Always keep them far away from those kinds of feelings to get the most out of them. So once you've listened to your dog and you know how they're feeling, you can then be more adaptable to the way they are. So adaptable is a really important skill. Sometimes you'll go places and you'll think, this is not going to work for my dog. Maybe you show up at the park and there's just loads of off-lead dogs running around, or there's a park run going on, or some kind of cycle meet-up. If you know that your dog is not going to cope in that situation, pop him back in the car and go somewhere else. If you're working with your dog and you feel like he's really so far out of his comfort zone all the time that today he is just not going to have a good day, be adaptable. Change your plans, go home, have a rest. We're not machines and dogs are not machines. If we're not in a great mood for training, we're not going to do our best. So either change the environment so it's going to suit your needs, or just take a day off. It's okay. This brings me on to the next skill, which is to plan ahead. So sometimes you might know that this is going to happen, in which case then you'll avoid these things in advance. But having a plan B and a plan Z is always really important, because that stuff can happen at any time. So that sometimes the park you go to is full of kids running around, and that's not great for your dog. So know where you would take them instead. Make a plan. Think about everything that could go wrong with your training today and come up with a plan B for all of it. If you know that your dog won't come back to you unless you take the best treats, then take the best treats. If you know you're going to need a long lead, take the long lead. Be prepared. Plan ahead. Know what you might need in any kind of situation. And finally, be persistent, because with the best one in the world, none of those other things are guaranteed. You can try and be patient. You can try and be consistent. You can always try to listen to your dog. You can plan ahead. You can be adaptable, but sometimes just stuff goes wrong. So we need to be persistent, and we need to get past the peaks and troughs in training. Training does not happen in a straight line. It is not input and output relevant. Sometimes you'll work really hard and get nowhere. Other days it will come easy and you'll make loads of progress. So you take the peaks and troughs, the good with the bad, and you persist and you just keep on going. And eventually all those peaks and troughs will even out. All those other things that affect the way that your dog behaves and feels will stop mattering. You'll have a new behavior, and that's when you're winning. So hopefully that's helped you channel your inner dog trainer. It's not easy, but do your best and you will get there, as long as you are persistent at the end of all of it. Take care for now. Bye bye.